tell me about this new zine initiative.
Yeah, so the Red River Cultural District, obviously, we are in the eastern part of downtown. It is a hub for festival activity, but it is a hub for a lot of tourist activity, right? I mean, we're seeing folks come in from all around the country, really all around the world, to see shows in the cultural district. With being home to 12 plus live music venues, one of the things that we've been really focused on lately is how to tell the story of the Red River Cultural District. So this past year, we launched an initiative called Cultural Currents. And the whole purpose of Cultural Currents is to start telling the story of the people and the places and the events that have occurred in the Red River Cultural District that have contributed so much to the rich cultural history. And one of the big pieces that came out of this work was we have launched a quarterly zine, a cultural current zine. And the first zine came out this week, and it really is this first opportunity for people to put their eyes on some of these really rich stories that help shaped what some of the venues are today, who used to live in the Red River Cultural District, who used to play in the Red River Cultural District. And we're really excited because we have three more to go this year.
Can you tell me a little bit about what kind of topics are covered? What are the stories that are told in the zine?
Yeah, so this first scene is really unique. We dove into a lot of archival research, we did personal interviews, and we really wanted to get a good mix of influential sites in the district and also figures. And so one of the kind of really neat stories is the story of the original owner of the One Night, which was a historic club on Red River, which actually became Stubbs today. And I won't give away too much, but ultimately, a lot of famous musicians got their start at the One Night. So at some point, this became a really big space for musicians to kind of cut their teeth and move into other spaces. We also do an interview with Steve Cheney, who was the founder of Cave Club. This area was it was such a vital incubator for like the district sound. There's a deep dive into, I think this is probably one of my favorite stories, and it's so kind of raw and real. There's a story about Blue Flamingo, which was more of the 1990s nightclub. And this area, this particular space, which is now Chess Club, really was kind of this rough around the edges space, and it was really one of the area's first LGBTQ friendly clubs. And it's where Austin's band Spoon was first discovered. So these are kind of just the snippets. I'll be honest, once we started diving into a lot of these stories, like I think it was kind of like we can't wait to do more because every little tidbit of information leads to like another story or another person. And it really is just such a great opportunity for, whether you are here in Austin and you've lived here a long time or you're visiting Austin, it's such a great opportunity for us to start delivering these stories for people to really learn about kind of history of Austin music.
Yeah, I think a lot of people know that the Red River area is the cultural district downtown, and there are a lot of music venues and LGBT spaces and like places to be. There's just a lot of culture there, but I feel like a lot of people don't know why or what the history is. So it's cool that this zine kind of shares that information and gets people like tapped into the context there.
Yeah, I think one of the things that, really inspired this project, one is that, I mean, we have this moniker here in Austin as the live music capital world, and really like, what does that mean, right? And what are the stories that got us to being that name brand, that namesake? I think the other things that we talk a lot about is, I mean, Austin is changing and it is growing, and there's still a wild demand for live music, and Red River is a testament to that. You'd be pretty hard pressed to find another cultural district anywhere that has like this cluster of live music venues. And this project, this ability to kind of amplify and storytell and evolve kind of these stories also really is a way to honor the history of a lot of the spaces that unfortunately are not with us anymore. We've seen a lot of venues close over the last decade, and our hope is that as we get deeper into the research, we can tell those stories so they're not forgotten because they really are a core piece of shaping kind of Austin's music scene and certainly shaping kind of the journey that the musicians have been on since they started playing here in Austin.
Yeah, I know people are always like, I miss the old Austin, but I am also aware that a lot of these newer bars and places that take over the old, maybe historic spaces, they do pay homage to like the older spaces that were there and the history there. So I love that like now we get to read about the context, like I said, and what was there before. Can you tell me about who is behind the stories themselves? Like who did the interviews, who
Sure.
wrote the zine and all of that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a pretty robust team. We hired a consultant team, but we're also partnering with the Downtown Austin Alliance and Preservation Austin. So we've got Richard Weimark and Greg Beats, who have focused on kind of the interview side of things and did a lot of the writing here in the zine. And they have actually, prior to their work, they actually published a book, which I recommend for everybody to read, called A Curious Mix of People. And it really is a really good storytelling opportunity of the things that they have already witnessed. But we have a whole team that has worked on the research side of things, that has been at the Austin History Center, that has been combing through old newspaper articles and old stories to kind of get us where we are today.
And this, I know the zine is part of this cultural initiative that you guys launched last year, but can you tell me why a zine specifically?
I think one of the things is that history can be delivered in so many ways, right? And our hope was that with this music heritage project, our hope was to deliver the history and the storytelling in multiple ways. And so it's kind of exciting because the zine is only one piece of this. And so when folks are reading this, it's easily digestible, right? And it gets you really curious about what some of these other stories are. We wanted something that we could leave behind in the community that whether you live here or you're visiting here, you can pick up and that you can read and then you can want more, right? And ultimately, we will be launching a series of things over the next few months. A little bit of a teaser, right? And come spring, we'll be hosting an event that kind of brings all these pieces together. And so, what I will say is that we have a really unique kind of audio podcast in the works. So, what you're reading in the zine are just snippets of the interview. And so, there will be an opportunity for you to listen to these full interviews, which is really cool. Taking a walk, going for a drive, you'll be able to hear these full interviews. So, we plan to release them over in the spring. We also have a really neat story map that will be available, and that will be more of an interactive online component. And then with our big event, we'll be rolling out some more things that people can come down to the district and actually see. Our hope is that these stories can be displayed in the district for people to come down. Hopefully, we'll have some music going. You can learn a little bit about the history of these spaces, be around community and really digest this stuff together, and kind of be on your toes for what comes next, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like physical media is kind of making a comeback this year. I've seen a lot of people be like,
Yeah.
2026 is the year of physical media. So it's really cool that this gets to be part of that for the Red River Cultural District.
And I think the other thing is that like our vision is that we will start to evolve these zines in a way where, maybe there are folks that contribute to artwork to them. Our hope is that our zines not only amplify some really great partners that help made this possible, made this project possible, but it's also a way kind of to step off your phone, to step off a screen, right? And one big emphasis that I think the cultural district is always focused on is community, right? And we've heard from people that work in these spaces and that come down to these spaces that Red River has a very, very unique community. And I hope And our hope is that this zine is just an extension of that. The zine welcomes others down to this community where they can feel that they have a space there. And the other thing is like if you've never heard of the cultural district before and this is your entry into it, I think it's a great way to kind of explore like what it used to be and what it is today.
So where can people find these zines?
Okay, so we have these zines at about, I think there's 20 different locations. There is a map located on our website, which is redriverculturaldistrict.org. So I recommend you check that out and kind of look to see what is the closest space to you. But that is where they will be, and they're also available within the venues in the Red River Cultural District as well.
And do they cost anything?
No, the zines are 100% free. Um, so they are small batch, right? So we only printed so many of them. And the hope will be that we'll release another in spring and those will be out there. And eventually we'll make them available digitally. But for now, we really want people to kind of just dive in. And if you've read it, share it with a friend, right? I mean, if you read it one with a friend, we want people to have access to this and again, completely free.
And if people do want to support the work that the Red River Cultural District is doing, is there a way for them to do that?
Absolutely. And so the thing that we say about supporting the cultural district is it's pretty multifaceted. Of course, we're a 501(c)(3), so folks can always go to our website and donate to us. The funding that we receive through these donations go to projects like funding our next zine or supporting one of our next festivals like Free Weekend Hot Summer Nights. But we also encourage that even if you're not supporting our organization directly, come out, see live music, tip the bartenders, buy merch from bands, purchase a ticket to see these shows. Everything you do contributing to the music ecosystem on Red River makes our cultural district stronger.
Is there anything else that you want to add that we haven't talked about before we wrap up?
I would just say, one of the biggest reasons that the Red River Cultural District kind of embarked on this storytelling and history project was that we certainly recognize the value in cultural tourism and we recognize the value in music heritage. And we really want to make sure that when people are coming to Austin, that they're not only seeing present day music and creative economy things, but we're also exposing them to kind of the rich history of what this space used to be. And we're really excited about how that contributes to the local economy. And we can only strengthen the cultural district by providing more opportunities for people to come visit and patrons to come down. And, our long-term goal is to get some really cool signage in the district that shows a lot of these stories. And how cool would it be to just do like a self-walking tour when you come to visit Austin to learn about all these things? Grab a coffee, walk down the street, like a beautiful day in Austin. And we're kind of shooting for the moon with this project, and we've gotten so much support already. I'm really excited about it and can't wait to dive deeper in.
Look, as an introvert who is very into like culture and the history of culture, having a self-guided tour and a little
I
coffee
know.
sounds ideal.
I just imagining like even like if you've got your headphones on and you're listening to one of these, podcasts that we're going to put out and you're just like walking down the cultural district and seeing like in the future these signs, like I think we are scratching the surface for what is yet to come. And I'm really, we couldn't be more appreciative how excited the community has been about these zines. At our free week event, which was a major success last weekend, it was really funny because we passed some of these out at like a little get together that we had before, and people were like holding them, like, okay, okay, like because they were going out to see shows the whole night and like they just like did not want to let it go. I met some gal on the street and she was like, I'm supposed to be going in to see this show, but like I can't stop reading this interview. And so it's just really cool to see people's reaction and that there's all, that they're so interested in it. So it gives us a lot of hope that like the next version will be just as good.